Peter Thiel, he's a good guy. He's just maybe a little misunderstood. He's more than just the founder of Palantir, which could be used to create a total surveillance state in America. And he's more than just the organizer of a secret society that was recently discovered, even though it wasn't supposed to be. And Thiel is more than just a guy that Jeffrey Epstein invested $40 million with after Epstein's conviction. And he's certainly more than J.D. Vance's puppet master. You know, because Peter Thiel is also gay. He routinely talks about the Antichrist and is the proud husband to his husband and the father of their 2 kids that they somehow have together. And more importantly, billionaire Peter Thiel is controlling the direction of America's freedom and humanity, perhaps more than any other person alive. So we thought you'd want to get to know Peter Thiel and everything he doesn't want you to know about him, because he has more control over you than you probably realize. Which is fun, because he's a selfless, good guy out for nothing but the good of the human race. Right, Peter? Good of the human race?
Prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in
Should
this.
the human race survive?
Well, that's a lot of hesitation, because you probably just meant yes. Good evening. On tonight's special Meet Peter Thiel report, you'll learn about Peter Thiel's greatest achievements and how they only better your life. And you'll also learn about the very unfair controversy that follows Peter. Buckle up. This guy's been busy. And before we get to his Bilderberg group-like secret society and Epstein involvement, let's start with his controversial company, Palantir, and what they're doing to you. Our friend Peter Thiel is the founder and chairman of the board of Palantir. You've probably heard about them. It's a little AI software data analytics company that Thiel founded in 2003 with CIA seed money. Yep, a CIA-backed company. It's always good for personal freedom and liberty. Palantir is now, you could say, a little embedded in our government. How so? Well, they've got $15 billion of government contracts. How'd they get those? You'll find out in a second. Palantir is used by our government to integrate and analyze massive amounts of data for national security. So, in other words, Palantir is here for your protection. Now, critics say very unfair things like, yeah, but it enables mass surveillance, authoritarian control, predictive policing, and it could weaponize your own data for the government to use against you should you become a dissenter. Insane people. Mass surveillance is crazy talk. Governments generally have no interest in surveilling their citizens. And besides, with the AI surveillance camera network of Palantir used by our government that grows by 200 cameras every day, we don't even know if those cameras are capable of surveillance. This just in! Peter Thiel named Palantir after the all-powerful Seeing Stone in Lord of the Rings. That's good. So there you have it. The 200 surveillance cameras added every day are probably used to record movies, not surveillance. Peter likes movies. Besides, would a guy who's trying to erase personal freedom with a dystopian authoritarian surveillance state say something like this? Most importantly, I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible. Probably not. That quote is from an essay Peter wrote. Before we get to Thiel's newly discovered secret society that he's been running for years, it's worth mentioning that of the $15 billion in contracts Palantir has with our government, $12 billion is in military contracts. But here's the thing, unlike military-industrial complex companies that just want more war, and they have a way of making sure they get it, Palantir is a company that profits from more war, but they probably want less war. This just in! Palantir published a 22-point manifesto where they urge for a reinstating of the military draft in America. Their point number 6, national service should be a universal duty. So, good guys at Palantir, and you'll get a peek at the CEO that Thiel has running Palantir in a moment. But first, very recently it was exposed that Peter Thiel has been running a secret society of elites, billionaires, and politicians for years. Now, here's the thing. You're not supposed to know about secret societies because they're a secret. But unfortunately, an activist hacker uncovered Thiel's secret society and published the truth that Thiel didn't want you to know about. What do they do there? Well, on the leaked agenda, his secret society sessions include starting a cult, how's your sex life, burlesque shows, how to steal an election, bring back nuclear, and navigating World War III. It's just good guy stuff that you're not supposed to know about. And in fact, you're not supposed to know about it so much so that attendees are guaranteed that nothing will leave the room that they say, and their phones are handed in before they enter. Because Peter Thiel takes privacy of elites very seriously. And with Palantir, he seriously takes your privacy. This one's my favorite session. Money does buy happiness. And when you think about it with Peter Thiel's orientation, Peter also can't have happiness unless he has penis. Get it? The words. So anyway, attendees of his secret society include a who's who of principled, truth-oriented achievers that are just out to protect humanity from power and corruption. People like Jared Kushner, Ted Cruz, Cory Booker. Nothing wrong with them. And it's an invite-only secret society. And the invitations to Thiel's little gatherings, they'd never been seen by the public before. Prior to this leak. Oh, except for the ones that were released in the Epstein files. In that, a lady named Lisa Randall sent an email containing the invitation to this guy named Jeffrey Epstein, asking him if it'd be worthwhile for her to go. To which Epstein replied, "Go." Hey, I wonder if that means anything. And in another part of the Epstein files, by the way, we're not even at the Epstein part of our Peter Thiel report yet. Anyway, Epstein emailed someone who has their name redacted, and Epstein said, Peter Thiel loved the secret society idea. He has done a lot of work on the concept. All failed so far. Well, I guess this secret society of his has failed too, because it's not a secret anymore. But the point is that according to Epstein, Thiel really loves himself some secret societies. And you should know there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can probably relate to this. Americans love wholesome national pastimes, like baseball, apple pie, secret societies, visits to islands. Anyway, we'll get to Thiel's beefier Epstein connection in a second, but first, a quick look at Thiel's Gawker revenge plot. Do you remember that old trashy media outlet called the Gawker? Well, it's out of business now. How'd they go out of business? Well, that involves a sex tape, Hulk Hogan, and Peter Thiel. Here's what happened. Rewinding the clock back to 2007, the Gawker outed Thiel as gay. Now, Peter might be a homo, but he's also homophobic, apparently, because he didn't want anybody to know he's gay. Then later on in 2016, after Gawker published a sex tape involving Hulk Hogan plowing a friend's wife, because Hulkamania was running wild back then, Thiel put $10 million in legal funding behind Hulk Hogan to sue Gawker. Then the court ruled in favor of Hulk Hogan in the name of $140 million in damages, which put Gawker out of business. And that meant that Peter Thiel, though still gay, won in the game of revenge against them. But some critics warn that this is a billionaire using his money to nefariously shut down journalism. Maybe, but I think it's more of a testament to the virtue of privacy rights that Peter so courageously stands for. With his works like A Secret Society, mentions in the Epstein files that were supposed to remain private, and the Palantir, all the privacy that gives Peter of yours. The guy stands for privacy. Yeah, that's why he took down Gawker. They violated Hulk Hogan's privacy. Well, let's move along in the Peter Thiel tale, and let's hear about Thiel's rather heavy influence on J.D. Vance. If some elite wanted to control the country, wouldn't he just run for office? Well, normally, yes, but not in Thiel's case, because he doesn't have to. Why not? else. Because Thiel met J.D. Vance when J.D. was a student at Yale. It's reported that Thiel's mentoring influence is what caused Vance to pivot from corporate law to venture capital and tech. Then in 2015, J.D. joined Thiel's venture capital firm Mithril Capital as a principal partner. And then in 2019, Vance co-founded his own VC firm with reported financial backing from Peter Thiel. And fun fact, Thiel had donated to Trump's campaign back in 2016. Then in 2021, he took J.D. Vance to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump to repair their relationship. Keep that in mind, because in 2022, Thiel donated $15 million to Vance's Ohio Senate campaign. And then in 2024, Thiel helped lobby Trump to pick Vance as his VP running mate. Thiel just really believed in J.D. They had no other reason for doing that. Then, spoiler alert, Trump and Vance win the election, and then Peter Thiel's Palantir immediately secures $15 billion of government contracts that many citizens objected to, that surveillance thing. So, as we've analyzed Peter Thiel's history with J.D. Vance, we find honestly no evidence that Thiel would have had any degree of an in with the federal government to further his self-interest or his agenda, or really any kind of influence on the current vice president, who may also soon be the next president in the not too distant future. This part of Thiel's resume looks clean, but was Thiel's relationship with Epstein so clean? Aside from Epstein's email saying, "Thiel loves secret societies, you should go to his." What else did these two goofballs get in together? Well, they definitely got into business together, and that's fun. But the interesting part isn't the business, it's the timing. In 2015 and 2016, the late Jeffrey Epstein invested a total of $40 million into Valor Ventures, a firm co-founded by Thiel. And the timing of that raises the hair on the back of the necks of skeptics, because that was well after Epstein was convicted of That's atrocious of Peter Thiel, some would say. But not really, when you think about it the right way, because inside Thiel's head, he's probably going, hey, that guy might be a trafficker. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want the trafficker's money. Oh, well, that's fine. But did any of his money that you're accepting come from trafficking? No, it came from his bank account. And it was put there by Les Wexner. So it looks like clean money from a trafficker that I'm doing business with. So it's really fine. And here's the heartwarming part of the story. The $40 million that Epstein invested with Peter's company, it's still invested, and it's owned by Epstein's estate. It's now valued at $170 million. So the Epstein estate still gets to benefit from Thiel accepting Epstein's money, and Thiel's company still benefits from Epstein's money being there. Which is, at least the victims don't benefit. So, in conclusion, is Peter Thiel a good guy just out to benefit humanity? Or is he a bad guy looking to control our country and humanity? As we've looked at his work with Palantir to build surveillance state technology that will probably never be used as such. And we've looked at his mentoring, relationship, and financial backing of J.D. Vance, which helped get Thiel's surveillance state technology into our government. Not that it would be ever used as such. And we've looked at the business he did with a known sex offender named Jeffrey Epstein. And we've looked at him weaponizing a legal battle to bankrupt a media outlet that reported truthful things about him that he didn't like. And we've looked at his passion project of a secret society that you weren't supposed to find out about. You add all that up, and I think it's safe to conclude that Peter Thiel is a transparent individual out to do only good. Misunderstood at times? Maybe. But he's a Christian man married to a man who loves talking about the Antichrist. So if anything, don't we need Peter Thiel's hands controlling more things in our lives? Like our food? This just in! That's already happened. Well, there you go. And if you had any last doubts, here's the CEO that Thiel has in place running the day-to-day operations at Palantir. Alex Karp.
I made a lot of decisions when we began talking annoying each other 10 years ago. Hopefully I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago, or more. When I made you know this. Yeah.
These are good hands that we're in that we didn't choose to be in. Peter Thiel, a good man who stands for secret societies for me and Palantir for thee. That's what we're doing?
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Enjoying it indeed. Just looking forward to more from Peter Thiel. Good night. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the guy. I didn't know most of that stuff before. But I tell you, the thing that impresses me most about Peter, how did he and his husband have those kids? Like, I don't know how they made that happen, but I am impressed that they did. Well, personally, I think being helpless is a little pathetic, so I choose to take control, and one of the ways I help melt away my stress is through the power of my Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. This is my favorite way to sauna, and there's so many additional challenges that infrared saunas help with. Like, have you ever thought to yourself, I am a toxic, body positive, low energy, aging person? Well, you're in luck because the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket helps with that. It's incredible for detoxification, boosting your energy, boosting your metabolism, and turning back the clock. This bad boy is super powerful and it heats up super fast. I do infrared sauna sessions 3 days a week, and the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket is the only way I do it because it's the most cost-effective, convenient way to do it. You just roll it out, use it, wipe it down when you're done. And if you like the idea of saving money, all Bond Charge products are HSA FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. If you want to say goodbye to helplessness and take control of your health, get your Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket at bondcharge.com/JP and use the discount code JP for 15% off everything Bond Charge offers. Enjoy. Now, get out of here. I got to do my session.